educated on what goes on in the funeral home business. So they're never prepared. So a lot of people of color, especially, they'll come to us and don't have insurance or enough money to pay for the funeral. So we have to work through those type of boundaries. And some people you need to have a trust. Some people need to have everybody needs to have a will. I know even the little stuff you have, like your podcast equipment, who you want to just get sold, or you want it to go to your mama. You want Trent to keep it, you know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff like that, wills, and especially life insurance. So that's the key thing. Just life insurance ain't for when you just die. It helps you, benefits you when you live.
All in audio experience.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the All In Audio Experience. It's your boy Jordan here, and my guy
Trent is in the building in Orlando.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
oh man, look, Jordan, you're not in the camera.
I know.
Hey,
I'm
not
coming.
at
I'm
all.
coming. I'm in the big camera though. I'm in the big camera.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I thought he was about to give a good introduction, but I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I got my boy here. This is a very special guest. He's got that entrepreneurial spirit. He was raised in a small business kind of like influence household. His father had a funeral home business. If you talk to him, the first thing he's gonna tell you about is the business world. I got my boy Hoyt here. Hoyt Hammond.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
Yes, sir. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm good. Just trying to make it.
Trying to make it.
Yeah, trying to get it.
Oh man, so
Yes,
man,
sir.
first of all, congratulations, my guy. He's
Oh yeah.
he's about to tie that knot with a very special friend of
Yep.
ours.
Yep.
We grew up with her, Mariah. Shout out to Mariah.
Yeah, my best friend right there.
Yes,
That's my heart.
sir. Yes, sir. And you just doing a lot of great things, man. I got to give you your flowers for that, bro.
Appreciate it.
You always been upstanding, always been making the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? And I like that.
Appreciate it, man. I try.
He tries. He tries. Only times when we hooping, I got to calm him down some. He get a little high.
Man, look. I just been high-headed since I was young. I try to chill, but you know, some folks know how to press your button sometimes, so it's just, I don't know.
You turn into a different beast on that court, bro.
Sure, you can't blame me, man. I just like to win. That's it. That's all it is.
I was with y'all that one time. It wasn't too. I ain't see it come out, but I'm sure it does for sure.
Nah. That's just with us. If we like going to get some foes, man, it get a little turned up just a little bit.
No, I just don't like how folks, you know, they try to get on you. I ain't trying to let nobody get over on me.
I feel
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
They be sleeping on them and they'll hit a couple of
Oh
threes.
yeah,
You
be
know
sitting
what
on
I'm
the
saying?
sideline. They're like, "Oh, this nigga can't hoop."
Oh,
So let me try. So I get out there, I hit a couple threes. I'm like, okay, I probably need to guard him then. So we'll see.
a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some advice on the proposal tip at some point. So
All right.
I'm gonna be reaching out to Hoyt.
Okay.
For sure,
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you love the business world, you love entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So let's just go there first, unless Trent, you want to go. If you want to take it somewhere else, we can.
Um, well, I mean, let's just get a background. I know you went to Auburn. So
More than
Roll Tide.
more than.
Roll Tide.
also you said you grew up in a small town too. How has that kind of shaped, who you are, and also as a businessman, how's that may have shaped you a little bit?
Ooh, so yeah, I'm from Delville, Alabama. So I'm not sure if you're familiar where Enterprise of Dothan is. It's southeast Alabama, so we're close to the Panama City. Everybody go through us just to get to the beach. So, but yeah, I grew up in my dad. He's a preacher, so grew up in a pastor preacher home. Have a brother. Yeah, growing up, it was always eyes on me. So my dad at the time had the biggest black church in Enterprise. So growing up, I remember one time we were riding down the street, me and my brother, and he was at ROTC at the time. I'm probably a senior in high school and he's a junior. So we on Delville Avenue going to the high school. My brother had his ROTC uniform in the back, right? And it was covering the back window. And my dad calls me. He's at the house, so he works a VA job. He's at the house and he works from home and he travels a lot. So he calls me. He was like, Hoyt, get that RTC uniform out of the back. When I'm like, how in the world do you know we have an RTC uniform in the back? So later on that day we get home, he was like, yeah, one of them church members saw you and called us and told us they can't see in your car. I'm like, really? So it was just that type of eyes on you. You know what I'm
So
saying?
I thought they did it like as like a safety hazard. So they just said it because they couldn't see in your car.
Yes. So it was just those type of eyes is on you. So it was just the pressure is like my way we was raised was like always keep a good name. So your name is everything. So we just try to make sure we keeping a good name is whatever we did and whatever we do represents not just us, but it represents our family and our dad. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing I try to do within my life, just keep a good name and make sure I'm representing my family well. So
I like those principles.
mm-hmm.
They doing a lot though. That was so dramatic.
Yeah, bro. It's like why just get some business at that point. Just get some. I'm trying to get to school. It's too early for that.
So going into like some more of your roots, when did you notice you had like that entrepreneurial bug, that spirit into you?
Man, that been in my whole life. So my uncle, he's an entrepreneur. My dad, my granddaddy, they all been entrepreneurs. They own a business. It was either selling life insurance, working at funeral home. My uncle started his own networking company. I'm not an engineer, so it's hard for me to explain, but he's an entrepreneur. But it been in it since I was a kid. I remember when I was in elementary school, I always loved money. I know that sounds bad.
No, I was the same way. I was the same
So
way.
it's like, yeah. So I wasn't greedy or anything, but I was always interested in the concept of money.
Mhm.
So I remember if I wanted something, I didn't care how much it cost, I'll probably get it. But the thing is, I will wait. So we'll get money probably for Christmas all the time, right?
Mhm.
And I take the cards and I just put my money in a piggy bank or put it in, like I'll save my money. And then I have a younger brother, Jew. I was like, oh, let me play with your toys. Hey, we'll get a PlayStation. It was like I remember first time we had to get a separate PlayStation when they start doing the streaming stuff like PlayStation 3s and stuff. Okay. So he was like, nah, I don't want you to share no more. I was like, okay, let me come back to cough it up now. But when I was in third grade, this guy had a wallet, right? I don't know if you remember those wallet chains that connect to your belt. Yeah, with the chains. And I remember seeing that, right? I was like, man, I want that. I went over, I said, can I have your wallet? He was like, no. I said, I'll give you $300. I'm in third grade now, dead ass. I'm like, I'll give you $300. And he was like, you ain't got $300. And this is my first time learning the value of money also. So, value of a dollar. So I come back the next day, I was like, okay, bet, I'll bring you the $300. He ain't believe me. Came home, went home, got my $300, brought it to the class.
I beat the skin off that.
That's what happened. And that's what happened. My folks was livid. So he went, the first thing he did was tell the teacher, they was already shocked, the teachers were already shocked they had that much money. And then they gave it to my mom, and she put it in the big piggy bank, that little piggy bank or whatever I had.
You get to touch his money too.
Yeah, I didn't get to touch. Yeah, I ain't get to touch that money no more. I probably ain't see that probably till high school. Oh, weird. So yeah,
Dang,
but I always try to save a dollar.
That showed you money talks, though. You pulled up, like a lot of times when you pull up somewhere, you give them straight cash. They ain't gonna deny you, So it's a lesson learned quick.
And yeah, and then getting that I ain't realize how much money I had. You gotta think about it that way. I'm probably 9, so it's $300. I'm just saving it. So you get money from family when you Christmas time. So we a small family, so they'll give us money, or my uncle he'll give us book, and I'll just save the money I had because I ain't nothing I want. So me doing that, I found something I want. I realized the value of a dollar at that point because what I'm trying to say, Jordan. I'm losing my train of thought.
Well, I feel like I kind of resonate with it because when I was a kid, I like had a thing where like I wanted to make money, but it wasn't like I loved money itself. It was more like I love the concept of it in the sense of like what you can do with it, how you can save it. Like if I wanted something, my mom one time, she said it one time, she was like, if you save past how much you got in weight and buy it then, but you got like twice as much, you could buy it twice, that's way better than buying it and not having no more money no more. So I did that every time. Every time I wanted a toy, I would save past it. And it was like little things like that. It was like the principles behind money were just so cool to me. Yeah. And I knew once I started thinking about like different jobs and stuff like that, every time I was like, well, did they make any money?
Yeah, that's same
I
here.
don't care how fun the job is. I ain't making no cash. I ain't gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that principle, it also taught me the worth of the dollar because that wallet wasn't worth that much. So me getting my ass tore up, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, showed me, okay, why you got this. You could have gave him $5 and ended up with that wallet instead of you trying to risk everything you got. So it also taught me that little
You know
value
what
of
I
it.
think you really had? I think you really had an economic spirit. Not as necessarily a love of like money. I feel like you actually fell in love with the concept of economics.
Yeah.
Because high school, I took one economics class. I was like, bro, I like this. Because economics takes it a step farther. You start placing value on things, and that's when money stops being the currency, and you start looking at things like time. You start looking at things like opportunity cost, and it kind of makes it expand, and it's like its own science. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes it so much cooler, and you start looking at things from a totally different. Like you be out with your boys, and they'll spend so much time on the littlest of things, and you're like, bro, we wasting
time.
We really spending money
wasting-
right here, wasting
wasting
time, bro.
yeah.
And it's like. Just give them that little. Stop fighting over these little crumbs, bro. I promise you.
Yeah, and you know you hear it all the time. Time is money. I know it sounds cliche, but it's so true.
It's so true, bro.
It's so true because the time you spending something over here is a time where you could be doing something else, figure out how to make a dollar, figure out to better yourself, building your craft. You know,
Or
so
just spending time with your family. Bro.
yeah,
Like
that
so
too.
many folks will spend. You spend 10 hours at work. Bro. If you get your money right, you be at work for 2 hours, 4 hours, make just as much money.
I say money is freedom.
I swear,
It's freedom. Because my dad, the way he's moving right now is just he's doing everything for our funeral home business. And he's 60 something years old.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get him to the point where it's like we can hire people to do what he's doing and just make sure the process is the same and you get the same quality of work, but also giving him the freedom. Because my mom's about to retire. You would think they want to go to the beach. They want to spend their time together. You know what I'm saying? Just money is freedom.
That's
so.
the stuff you start thinking about. It's like, damn, my folks been working since I was born.
Yeah.
Time to stop this.
Yeah.
Y'all got to go sit down somewhere. Go ahead, Trent.
That's the thing though. It's like because my grandfather he has a telephone business. He does installing of wiring and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes the generation didn't know how to scale it, so that's why they still in that situation where they working. So my granddad he doesn't work as much, but he's still doing everything by himself. Now if he would have, knew how to scale it, who knows where it would have went. So. Um, yeah, man. But now we got that knowledge. So.
Yeah, and that's the difference between generations. They knew how to start and hustle to get the dollar. It's our time to learn how to scale it and make sure it continues. So
I think one thing I noticed too is that the past generation got mastery in scaling things up confused. You can be the greatest at doing something, but you never took the other route of scaling it in a way where you don't have to work as hard. You'll know somebody that's like the best barber in the city, say it's barbershop. Maybe you got to like the A+100 level, whatever you want to rate it, of being a barber, but you never stopped for a second and then developed a system to where you don't have to work as much. And you do it when you want to, but you don't actually have to because you have a shop with 6 barbers. You got 2 shops with 6 barbers. You see what I'm saying? You making money when you're not working, and then you just do it when you feel like it. And I feel like that's what other communities have done. They'll get to like 80 overall, but just use 2K ratings as being a barber. But they'll take a step back, stop working for a second, and figure out how to make a system where they don't have to do everything anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that's the next level.
Yeah, it really is.
Next level. So, all right. Let's talk about your education though at Auburn and stuff. What did you study, and how did that kind of help you? I guess as you go into your career or your ambitions of going into real estate and all those other things.
So I'm gonna go a little bit before Auburn, right? So when I graduated high school, I had no clue what I wanted to do, like everybody else, But I didn't apply for my ACT score was in the trash, so I didn't apply for many colleges and anything. And I knew my family had a funeral home business, so at that time I wanted to go to the funeral home business, and I ended up going to Birmingham to mortuary school. Learned a lot up there. Best experience. I felt like I was thrown in the deep end. So every day we only had 2 classes a week. Didn't do great at Birmingham, not gonna lie. But that experience just taught me how to persevere and get through. So my way to Auburn was a little different than most people. So I transferred in after all that and had my credits. Long story short, but got to Auburn, ended up doing accounting, right? I hated accounting, dog. Jordan knows, like, bruh,
This is
account.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Here's
It's
so
just
many
I'll say
stories.
this: there's specific types of mindsets and people that work with accounting, and if you're not one of those people, you might as well just change.
Yeah. So, and the only reason I did accounting, because again, didn't know what I wanted to do. Knew I love money. Knew I love business. So I'm gonna follow my dad's footsteps. He ended up having he has an accounting degree from Troy. So I'm like, I'm gonna try accounting. So didn't I like it? I'm like 3 classes away from graduating or 4 something, probably a semester. And I was like, man, I'm gonna change my major. I'm sick of this. I failed a couple classes. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm not a great student, Trent. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I persevere, bro. Like I'm the type of person I'm not gonna give up. You gon' like I'm gonna keep asking and I'm gonna keep doing it till something good comes out of it. But end up changing my major to finance, and that helped me a lot. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna say my school was the best experience, but because outside, like I mean, the best experience, the classroom was the best, but outside of that,
I
like
said
my
I was outside.
yeah, my fraternity and everything, I learned a lot just from doing that. That got
Okay.
me out there because when we have to register people to vote, so we on the concourse talking to many people coming through, just trying to get them over to register or do something or get active, whatever we're doing. So just that helped me form my voice right there. So
For sure. And just to stay on that topic, I had accounting too,
hmm
and I dropped it in. I turned it into my minor because I had so many credits, but like it was just out of the fact I just didn't want to lose the credits.
yeah,
But
same,
like,
bro.
if you not you, I'll say if you're not a person, if you're the type of person that has a sock drawer and like a drawer, like you know what I'm saying,
They love to
drawers, and
organize.
they're labeled, then you'll do
Yeah.
fine in accounting. If you're not, then just let it ride, bro.
And I tell people really don't know the difference between accounting and finance. I say accounting is accounting for what has happened. So you accounting for the past, and finance you looking for in the future. So you looking for your cost analysis. You looking at how much something gonna cost, at what projection of income that's coming in. So just stuff like that. So I like looking towards the future. I ain't trying to figure out what has happened. It's in the past. I don't want to worry about it. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
it's so
Yeah.
weird how the business practices can be so far apart in what you actually do
Yeah.
that it's but and the weird thing is if you run a business you actually then bring them together and need all of them, but
hmm
at the same time if you're specializing in one, your skill set low-key is so far away
hmm
at times, but yeah.
Yeah, my pops, he always said, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business.
True,
You have
true,
to know your
true.
numbers because that's like the heart and soul of your business. Because if you don't know that, you don't know if you're doing the right thing. You don't know where your money's going. You're not going to succeed. It's just point blank. So
Yeah.
I tell people, learn your numbers, learn the basic skills of finance. You don't have to be the best at it, but basic skills are how to budget and everything. You'll be fine.
No,
So.
that was a gem. That's a gem. The
Oh
accelerator
yeah.
program I used to follow, it was called Y Combinator, and it's
hmm
like one of the biggest accelerator programs. Like they started up Uber, Airbnb, a lot of those big tech companies that came up, and the guy who's like over it and is like one of the main people that like bring in the incoming founders, and they do it every year. So there's actually something to look into if you want to start like in tech or a startup type of thing, and you want funding and you want somebody to help you through it. Look up Y Combinator. But the thing they said was the founders that were like 90% of the founders that are successful are the founders that know their numbers
hmm
religiously. Like if you ask them, they know their numbers, they know their revenue, they know their
Where each dollar
turnover, they
spending.
know the runway. That's how much time you have before you go insolvent and you don't have enough money to keep going. And like the for the most part, the people that don't know it because they know it's bad, and there's like a fear mindset of like that thing on the back of their shoulder, like you ain't got
Yeah.
much time.
Bro, and that's the thing. People are scared of money, man.
Yeah.
It's like they're scared to talk about their budget. They're scared to, it's like, man, it's here. Like you have to deal with not saying don't be scared of it, but like conquer it. It's
Yeah.
like you control the dollar. It's not controlling you. You control
Yeah.
where you spending your money. You know what I'm saying? If it sits there, it's sitting there because you letting it sit there. So I just say just to just educate yourself.
Yeah,
So
and it's something everybody's got to conquer. Because I know, like when we were like, it's not even that long ago, we were just at a tight spot where like we had spent a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of money coming in. It was like I got tired of looking at that every day. It was
hmm
like, bro, it's not getting any better. But like Trent remembers, we had like that period like where we was like we just had to look at it and assess like how much time we got, what we got to do each
yep.
month to like make it work, and just actually just have eyes on it. And even like one person, they said one thing is like they literally had like a sticky note on their computer every day that had their revenue, had the money going out every month, all
Oh
that.
wow.
And when you look at it every day, you just have to be conscious of it, and you can start just taking little practical steps to like get you to a place where, you know what I'm saying,
Where
you're
you
at
want to
least
be.
breaking even, or you're at
hmm
least like making progress towards it. So
Yeah.
And that's just simple as like, starting your personal budget and all that is essential. I mean, I feel like I was like kind of just floating around, probably like a couple years ago, not even worrying about it. And then you end up at the end of the month like, damn, shit, where all my money go? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
facts,
it's like,
facts.
it's like, man, you really got to tackle that and focus on, the bills first. And then you can play around after that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the anybody who's like struggling, and it's best to start personal before even thinking about business. I think the best thing you can do to get over that hurdle of being scared is stopping the bleeding. I guarantee you, if you're in the place of like where you're just like, where, dang, like where I spend that, that's the worst place you could be at, because that means you're just not conscious of it.
hmm
So the first thing you need to do is just look and see where the money's going. And 9 times out of 10, you got like 3 subscriptions to 2 different Netflix services and
That you
whatnot
don't
that you
even
don't even
need.
use. And
Yeah.
once you cut those off, you'll realize, oh, I have $50 extra every month.
Or you got a gym membership you're not using. I'm just
True,
being like,
true.
so
And stuff
yeah.
like that. And then once you become conscious of it, you stop doing things like on the way home, stopping at the gas station for that snack you don't need when you got
hmm
stuff at the house. You know
Or
what I'm
eating out for
saying?
lunch. That's my thing.
Eating out for lunch.
Yeah, bro, that's gonna kill me one day. But hey, I'm trying to get better with
See,
it.
it's just, I swear it's little things, bro. Them little things compound, bro. I
hmm
swear.
Yep, yep, man. So, all right, wait. So, real estate. Well, let's go into the funeral business.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm
Because
getting
you
ready
went to
for.
school for that first. Hold on.
I
So,
didn't finish. Yeah,
I mean, what was that experience like, man? What is that business like? Just give us a overall view.
that's a big answer right there.
I need that whole thing, like the dirty world, dark world too.
Nah, bro, I can't air all that out, but we'll see. But yeah, just me and my brother, we've been around it, just growing up. We used to play in a funeral home. So it was nothing taboo to us. So it was a normal life. Like death is a part of life to us. I know that sounds bad, but it's like it is. So I remember the honest part, I can't even tell you the time I seen my first dead person. Just
Which is wild.
yeah,
Wow. He be telling me that something like you was helping?
yeah, I've
Nah.
been helping since I was a kid, man. I probably started working funerals probably 10, 11. So
Hmm.
yeah, I've been helping since elementary school. But yeah, just growing up around it, just being around it. My dad was like, "Don't." There's nothing to be scared of a dead person. The only person you need to be scared of is people that's walking around with you. Like the dead people can't do nothing to you.
It
But
sound good till they come with that coffin.
ah,
Yeah. I'm playing. I'm playing.
only time that's gonna happen when Jesus comes back. When that happens, hey, I'm not. Hey, I hope God take me with him.
Facts, facts.
But yeah, it's interesting. You see a lot of different things in the funeral home business. You good?
No, keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You see a lot of different things in the funeral home business. Man. So you have some families come in there, bruh. They don't. So my thing is, a lot of people's not educated on what goes on in the funeral home business. So they're never prepared. So a lot of people of color, especially, they'll come to us and don't have insurance or enough money to pay for the funeral on funeral, so we have to work through those type of boundaries. And it's just a lot. What do you want to know specifically about it?
Well, yeah, go ahead and talk about like what do you need, like death is something that you can't sometimes it's coming, but for somebody like our age, we don't expect
Hmm.
um to die tomorrow. What do you need to have in place for yourself so that your family doesn't have to bear the burden of, being having to pay for all of these expenses and sometimes families go into debt and all that situation.
Yeah.
So
So it depends. I'm not every situation is different, Trent. Some people you need to have a trust. Some people need to have everybody needs to have a will. I know even the little stuff you have, like your podcast equipment, who you want to just get sold, or you want it to go to your mama. You want Trent to keep it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff like that, wills, and especially life insurance. So that's the key thing. Just life insurance ain't for when you just die. It helps you, benefits you when you live, and also, but like at least I know a lot of people, a lot of black people, they love to say, "I'm not leaving my kids nothing. They grown. They gonna be all right." Wrong mindset, because even if you don't leave them nothing, you still leaving them with the debt. That's leaving them with something. So at least get enough to get buried. You know what I'm saying? So that's the little stuff you got to think about. Just if you own property, you own stuff, make sure all your I's dotted, T's crossed. So get with a lawyer, a financial advisor, somebody that can help you even when you go to the funeral home. Let's say you have an older relative that's on hospice or something. You don't have to wait till they pass. You can go to the funeral home and get a pre-need. So a pre-need arrangement is where you talk to a licensed funeral director. You get everything you want. So you get your package together. You get your vault, your casket, where you want to get buried, and all that. He writes up the cost for that. He hands that to the licensed insurance agent if he's not the licensed insurance agent, and they write you a pre-need insurance policy so you can pay on that monthly. So when that time comes, you already have your burial and your everything is set, so the burden won't fall on your relatives. So it's just little things like that.
that's good. That's a good word.
Yep.
Okay,
Let's
so
see,
My
let's
Jordan.
bad.
go
Yeah, go
ahead.
ahead and
Go ahead.
ask
Go
the
ahead.
question. I know you got some, crazy you gonna ask,
Why
man.
my question got to be crazy, bro?
Because you know you're gonna ask crazy questions. I don't even know why you had
All
to.
right, so what was the first time you like had to help with embalming somebody?
Oh man, that wasn't so. Growing up, my dad ain't had me in the back room because
Oh,
I
okay.
I was in I was in school. I helped dressed, but I've never helped
Oh,
embalm.
okay. Okay.
And bruh, that was an experience. I'm not gonna say where I was, who I was with, or anything, but
So you did end up doing it?
yeah. So when you working in school, I already said I was in Birmingham, but when you working in school, you have to do apprenticeship. So to get licensed, you have to be a licensed funeral director and a licensed embalmer. You don't have to be at the same, but those the license you have to hold in the funeral home. So you have to have those on the wall and displayed. So at the time, I was an apprentice, and I was a licensed apprentice for an embalmer and a funeral director. So I was going on funerals every single Saturday. I remember been on a funeral. It probably had 5 funerals, and we just driving around, hopping each funeral. So, and then to your embalmer question, my first time was in Birmingham, so I'm a licensed embalmer. You go in there, you see a lot of different stuff, man. It's just I walked back in that back room at the time. You can have 10 dead people. I know this sounds
Mm,
bad, but it'll be 10 people. Just people. You got to have a stomach for it, you
Sound like
know.
CSI Miami, man.
You gotta have a stomach for it. It ain't for everybody, but the thing I like about it is you try to do the best you can by your family, by your families that coming in. You
Hmm.
make them look the best you can, and the best compliment you can get from a family is like they look like they're sleeping. They look like themselves.
Okay.
That's the best compliment you get. So you know you're doing right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
So
that's not always possible depending on how they died and stuff
yeah,
like
it's
that.
not. But also it depends on your bomber too,
Okay.
because your bomber can be so skilled. So I don't know if you know you do makeup
Okay.
in the back, and then people still get the haircut, the hairdresser come in, you do the hair. And then
Okay.
also we had a lady when I was in Birmingham, we had a lady that died. She was burnt alive, and she was actually probably lighter complexion, yeah, way lighter complexion than me.
Hoyt
And
think he light skinned, y'all. But
I'm
continue.
not light skinned. Like, yeah, I'm just saying she probably Mariah's complexion. I'm gonna say
Okay.
that. And but yeah, but when they pulled her out, she been burnt in the house fire, and and the embalmer is so good, he made her looking good, and it did the makeup so well and everything. She actually looked like herself. So it
Mm.
depends on the situation that you sometimes you can't because it's so bad, but and you suggest to the family like we'll have to have a closed casket, but just
Okay.
little stuff like that, you know.
For sure.
So when you bring somebody in, some of these people that do makeup or hairdressers, are they specific to the funeral business, or are they
Yeah.
sometimes just people that you know, I'm my barber down the street, you know?
Yeah, it could be your barber down the street. It can be
Dang.
your barber down the street. Yeah. So most barbers have two sets of clippers. I can't say for
You better
every
have two sets of
I
clippers,
can't
man.
say for every barber. And you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody. I have seen where barbers they have two sets and it was like, okay, I'm never getting my hair cut by you. But
Oh, boy, bro, I'm mad as hell.
so yeah, but it's on the hygiene of the barber. So, but yeah, most barbers have two sets. Even hair beauticians, they have two sets, and they come in and do the hair. But at that time, before they doing it, we have them dressed. They're covered up. You just pull them back and just showing the head so they can do the hair. So they don't
I'm
see
like, real, you
anything.
need a new set. You go cut some dead folks. You need a new set and to burn that set.
No, you
Respectfully.
no,
I'm just
but
messing. I'm just
by the
messing.
time they by the time you get to that point, you done went through all the embalming process. So all anything that was there is dead. You could because you
Okay,
done
they cleaned them out and stuff.
yeah, in the
Okay.
embalming process you push the fluid in and everything. So just like there's nothing. So you it's formal. I think formaldehyde. There's different things you can use on different
Chemicals and things.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's chemicals and stuff and yeah, all the embalming process do is just slow down the decomposition process.
Okay.
So that's all it does. But anything is dead by the time you get done embalming them. You it shouldn't be nothing that's no germs or anything. They probably cleaner than us, to be honest with you. So you wash the body and all that. So
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
So, all right. So can you tell us the process, the embalming process? Is that something you can tell somebody?
I can. I don't know if folks want to hear that or not, but it ain't gruesome. So it depends. So there's 6 points you can go through.
Keep
So
talking. Keep talking.
So 6 points. I think 6 points. Yeah, 6 points. I'm not a licensed embalmer. I was an apprentice. I do not embalm. I'm gonna get that out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Okay.
trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get in trouble or nothing. I don't do that. So, but I have been in the back room and witnessed it and have helped out in the embalming. But there's 6 points you can go through. So two up here, two in the arm, two in the thighs, and you pull the artery and the vein out. All right. You, I can't remember. I think you cut the vein, so that's where the blood will come out. You cut the artery. You push the tube down, so you can. So you got it acts like your heart almost. You try to build the blood circulation back up, so you circulate to push the blood back in, so it can get through the deceased system and harden, not harden, but yeah, harden and bomb them to make them stiff, because you don't want it. Because if you able to do your grandmama hand like that after she dead, that was a horrible embalmer. You shouldn't be able to move them like that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Mm, okay.
All right. All
Gotcha.
right.
and then the second part of that is I don't know if you want to hear that. You got autopsies. I don't know if you know what an autopsy is. You probably seen it on like CSI
Um.
and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So autopsies is when a case happens in the coroner or the people they go to the morgue and they have to dissect them and everything. Either organ donor, so you want their organs, or you have to figure out how they died. So most times it's like gunshot victims or murder cases and stuff like that. Just to or yeah to figure out what
So
happened to them.
they come after y'all.
No, they come before us.
Okay. Okay. That makes
So we
sense.
get the
Okay.
body after them. So
Okay.
if an autopsy case come after that, Before that, they don't embalm them. They just do what they need to do. They suture them back up,
Okay.
and we get them.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, we have to do the whole embalming process. So I'm not going to explain all that. It's kind of
Okay.
yeah.
So they're called a coroner.
So
Y'all are,
corner, I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I'm not sure if the coroner does it or not. But the coroner, because your coroner is the elected official. So the coroner most time doesn't do it, but it's the city morgue that does it. So you have doctors and forensic scientists that's in there that's doing stuff like that. So
and they're the ones that suture them back up.
yeah, and then they get them. We take their sutures out and actually embalm them.
So
And
who's a
everything.
mortician?
Mortician is a embalmer. Same thing, just
Okay.
two different language. It's like there and there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So
All right. So I'm about to get into the life insurance a little bit again. Trent, you got any more embalming questions?
Nah, I'm
All
good. I'm
right.
good.
I don't know why. That's when I start talking about funeral home. That's the first thing folks want to know. Is like, how do you embalm feel? You ain't scared? It's like, man, there's a lot more process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Than that. But
It's interesting though. It's interesting though, because for the most part, most people are just so removed from it. You know what I'm saying? I've only been to a couple of funerals in my life, and we see them when they're in the casket. And for the most part, they
you don't
try
know
to make them
behind the work.
yeah, and they try to make them look as good as possible. So
Yeah.
But going into life insurance, I know you have like a lot of aspirations when it comes to life insurance, and I just wanted to like just talk about like those plans you got for not just having the family funeral, but funeral home service, but turning it into like a full time service, and like what and that vision that you got.
Yeah, so that vision that didn't start with me. My dad, he's been on that since he was young too. So all my aspirations low key come from him, and so he's the reason I end up getting my life insurance license and know what I know about it. But yeah, that I'm kind of my plan is, and what I would like to see one day is, it's like a life service aspect with funeral home, because now people are, I know it's just gonna sound bad. Funeral home is still a business. You got to remember that. So when you burying somebody, a lot of people don't want to get buried, and it's cutting the funeral home costs where people get cremated.
Oh, okay.
So that cuts costs. There's not much process in that and everything, which is fine. I understand people want to go the cheaper route, but so that also so the funeral homes have to figure out where they want to transition to. So how they want it. So it's like, do you want to have reception halls and stuff like that in your business? It's just different things. And my mind is, I want to have like a one-stop shop for things. You know what I'm saying? So everything that consists of your life services need, you're able to come in the funeral home and have access to a lawyer that can do a will or a trust for you, because people of color like us, we really don't have access to people like that. Have access to a licensed life insurance agent where you can get a whole life insurance, term life if you need that, or get a pre-need policy. So just a one-stop shop for your life services needs. That's how I think about it.
I think that goes back to our conversation of scaling up.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways to do it, and when you're bringing in different sources of income, and I think it's important to really acknowledge like it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So many times in our community, people want to like why aren't you doing you supposed to love what you do, this that and the other. Like I'm sure nurses, doctors, people in a bunch of different fields love what they do. We do media. I love what I do, but bro, like just like you, I got people to provide for, including myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be, what I'm
And
saying.
we have staff. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just us. We pay on our staff so they can feed their family. So you just got to think about little stuff like that.
And not just
So
feed your family. Like I don't want to go through my life barely making it. Like
yeah,
I
that's
work.
true.
We work. Everybody works too hard to be surviving and not thriving.
Mm-hmm.
But back to what you were saying. Just being able to scale up and scale in different ways. But I think when we talk about those different sources of income, people think, or people kind of jump to having income in different areas. And one thing I've noticed from what I'm doing in my thing and what you just said is like usually your different sources of income are like offshooting from the same tree. You know what I'm saying? And like
it's just different branch from the same tree.
Different branch from the same tree, and it's a step sideways into like a different realm, but it kind of branches off from your first skill set or your first like area of knowledge, and it doesn't have to be super foreign or super like out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's one thing. So you got to realize what are you doing? What other sources can you get from your main branch? Make sure the tree is strong. Make sure your foundation and your root is
Yeah,
strong. But after this tree start growing, what branches can also bear fruit? So that's the thing
facts,
you got to think about.
facts.
So
We deal with a lot of musicians, and I tell them, bro, like, yeah, you can sing, but you know how much faster your career will probably launch off if you learn how to do some production, you learn how to mix and
hmm
engineer. If you actually bought a camera and did some of your own editing and maybe film some of your own music videos, because not only will that like be able to like cut down the time from you able to get content out, you'll also have people that will be like, "Yo, who did your video? I
Yep.
did it. Oh, can you do mine? Yeah, that'll be $300. I got you. You know what
And
I'm
it's also you
saying?"
gotta think about it. It's artists out there. Everybody I know, he's probably canceled everything, but when he was starting out, Kanye.
hmm
Think about that. He was a producer.
You know me, I'm a
He,
Kanye stan.
yeah,
Tell me
he,
about it. Yeah.
he had his friend him. He had a group of guys. His friend did his videos.
Yeah,
So just like don't forget the people around you that can help too. You
for
ain't got to
sure.
do it by yourself.
For
That's what
sure.
everybody think. You can. You have to do. I have to be this person and do every little thing. No, build your community. Get with your people next to you and
For
build
sure.
with them.
For
So
sure.
that's the thing you got to think about. So
Yeah, facts. And money can be the low
Yeah.
hanging branch, you know what I'm saying? We got two
yeah.
services that cross over. We can just exchange them.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah. So that's good. Like you basically you learning how to adapt to it too. Like that's a part of the business game, like not only scaling, but you adapting to something that you see in the market. Not a lot of people are trying to spend money on the overall having a funeral. They trying to transition it to cremation a lot of times to, you know, cut costs. So you gotta add more services so they covered in all lanes. So
yeah,
that's
you're
a
right.
good idea.
And the training is also added value. So you got to think
Yeah.
about it. Think where the service you do have. So people they don't just want to have a cremation and just not have a service. They want to actually have a service and get to mourn their loved one. So what can you add value to that? Oh, maybe I need to put a streaming system in my funeral home. Maybe I need to do this. It's adding value and adding a service that is like, oh, that's cool. Because if you let's think about it. If you have a streaming system like COVID, a lot of people didn't get to mourn their mother, daughter, son properly because we was social distance. But if you had a
Hmm.
system where them 10 people that was able to go, they're there, but you could also see it on the platform. You know what I'm saying? So just little things like that. You're able to be there in spirit and be there and mourn in unison, even though you're not there present. So.
Yeah. And that comes down to just providing a great experience for people.
hmm And I tell people, my thing is where I want the business is like it's three things: love, life, legacy. So show the people that you care about them. Show how much you love your family. All right, preserving life. That's where the wills and the trust and come in, and also building. And that when you do those two things, you're building a legacy. So
Yeah.
because your family members will remember how you set them up and how you did that, and also and just
Do that for
continue to
the
go
next
on.
generation.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. All right, man. We a little short on time. We're gonna have to do this one again, man. Trent, what you got to finish us off?
Ah man, so wait, give us some well, I mean, I'm sure your family has a website, some information that people can go to so they can tap in with those services. And also just give us a word of advice to, let's say, your younger self or, a mentee that you might have.
Okay. So you can reach me at Hoyt Hammond on social medias on the platform, Facebook Hammond Funeral Home. Um, and we're starting YouTube. We're trying to grow our social media brand right now. It's an old business trying to grow. So, but a word of advice I have is continue to push. Just continue to persevere because you may not see where your road is going because I know I did it when I was younger and coming out of high school. But continue to push and continue to believe in yourself and lean on your loved ones, lean on your family because I know without my brother and my folks, I wouldn't be where I am today. So just continue to push, lean, and you're gonna get there. Because I know I'm still not there, and we're growing together. So that's all I'm saying. Just persevere.
Oh yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, Princess Closet Boutique. That's my booze. Design. What? Help me out, Trent. I'm losing my train of thought.
We got the
Yeah,
design
you
business.
did. Yeah, that's her design business. She can do prom dresses, anything. It's an online boutique. That's the word I was looking for. So shout out to Mariah Gillette, Princess Closet, future Mariah Hammond, Mrs. Hammond, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Princess Closet. Go online shop, ladies. Fellas, get something nice for your girl. So yeah.
All in audio experience.